Make sure you guys go and pick up the Swedish SAV that was just set on sale. This thing is a really fun meme vehicle and an absolute beast. From today, January 14th until January 17th at 11 GMT, you can pick this vehicle up for 1,300 GE. And while I have you watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and rate it real quickly. With a max speed of 48 kilometers forward and 18 kilometers backwards, this thing is extremely fast for its BR bracket. This is especially true when you realize this thing is actually a tank destroyer, but you still face a lot of vehicles that can outspeed you just because everything is so light. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for speed. For agility, you do have a really good braking distance and you can whip this thing around like crazy. The only thing that could make this thing better is if it had neutral steering, and if it didn't slide so much when you were braking extremely hard. So for agility, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Moving over to offense, this thing features a 120mm autocannon. It can pen a maximum armor value of 95mm, and this autocannon has a reload speed of 1.2 seconds. The only downfall of this is the fact that you have a magazine size of 7, so it can be quite awkward if you are in an extended fight. So for its offense, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Moving over to its armor, it has a maximum armor value of 30mm and a minimum of 15mm, or 0 if you count the open top. I don't think I've actually ever stopped around from going through this thing, so its defense is going to get a 1 out of 10. Moving over to flexibility, this thing doesn't get any MGs or anything like that. The only thing it really gets are smoke grenades. So you don't really have any flexibility in how you play this thing because you do really have to rat in it. The only perk is the fact that you can range find quite quickly because your autoloader allows you to fire, miss, and keep firing. So for its flexibility, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Moving over to electronics, this thing gets an autoloader at 3.7, which is a blatant 10 out of 10. Moving over to survivability, you are pretty compact, and if any APHE even touches you, it's basically over. The only thing you can survive are solid shot rounds. Since those are actually quite common, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Moving over to difficulty, this thing is quite easy to pick up, but it's really hard to master. You do have to balance a lot of things at once, and if you get in the wrong position, it's basically over for you. So with 1 being the hardest and 10 being the easiest, this thing's going to get a 5 out of 10. Moving over to fun value, this thing is an extremely fun vehicle that just zip around and fire over and over again at enemies that don't even expect it. Easy 10 out of 10. For its actual value, it is a 3.7 premium, which will get you through a decent amount of the Swedish tech tree, and it's extremely fun, although it won't get you through the entire tech tree. So for its value, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. This gives it a B rating on my scale.